Hey guys! It is Autumn Skylar here, and as you can tell from the title of this video, things haven't been going too great. Now, the last time that I posted a singing video, and the description of that detailed quite an arduous journey that I had been experiencing. And I discussed uncertainty about what was happening with me and how doctors didn't know either. Well, we know what's happened, we know what's gone on, we know what is wrong, and I'm going to share it with you. But first, to start out this lovely tale, I am going to show you guys a video. Now, throughout the time that I have been experiencing these relapses over the course of the past couple of weeks, there have been what we have dubbed episodes. Now, what is an episode? Well, you will be seeing exactly what an episode is, but first I'm going to describe it because it is quite traumatic, even just to watch, for a lay person who wasn't in the room experiencing it, or me being the one experiencing it. So, this episode that I experienced twice basically looks like a mix between a stroke and a seizure. We don't exactly know what to call this technically, but we know what caused this. So I'm going to show you this, and I want you to guess what it is that went wrong with me. It's a little game we're going to play. We're going to play a game called What's Wrong with Autumn? So I'm going to insert this clip, and it's just going to be a small portion of what would be a 5-minute long clip of me having this episode. And at the end of it, I'm going to give you a little pause, and we're going to see if any of you can guess what is going on here, what caused it. Spoiler alert, I'm going to bet that none of you know what it is. Okay, here we go.
We're all here. It's gonna be okay. So it's gonna be okay. It's like a dystonia attack is what it looks like to me.
Breathe. Remember to breathe.
I know, you have to try to breathe through it. I know. I know. We want to get you in your collar, honey. Breathe. Come on, breathe.
I didn't lie when I said that that was traumatic. And so now, this is where you come in. What's your guess? Feel free to write it in the comments down below. What's your guess? I'm hearing seizure. I'm hearing stroke. Someone in the back is saying heart attack. Someone else is saying psychotic break. Wow. One of those is partially right. So the first hospital diagnosed me with having a TIA, and apparently, even though there was no evidence on my MRI, TIAs can happen and not have lasting enough impact to show up on an MRI. I didn't know that. We still don't know if that's what happened. I don't know what is going on in that video. All I know is what caused it. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's cancel some things out. It's nothing neurological. Nothing big bad in my brain. Gonna cancel out another one. It's nothing to do with my fusion, nothing wrong surgically, nothing. What could this be? You might be asking yourself, what could it be? All right, let's do a little drum roll. Kidney infection. What? You might be saying to yourself? Well, that's right. Kidney infection. Not just one kidney infection. Dose. I guess my body decided that I needed one for each kidney, which is very thoughtful of my body, I might say. So yeah. 2 kidney infections. Now we're going to go into the story behind all of this. So yeah, it started out with me going to one hospital through ambulance ride, them saying I had a TIA, and then just sending me home, which is an interesting thing to do for somebody that you think had a TIA, to just be like, you've been here for less than 48 hours and you still can't speak properly, let's send you home. Okay, an interesting medical choice. Now, I tried to wait it out and tried to make it to a neurology appointment that I had in the city, but I couldn't. So then we at first went to one hospital, were told that they would probably just do the same exact testing that was done at the first hospital, which was a CT and an MRI, and also that the hospital we went to was insanely overpacked and that some people had just been sitting in chairs in the hospital in the hallway for the entire weekend. Okay, so I made the executive decision. Let's drive to the city, go to the hospital that all of my doctors work out of, well, at least the big bad doctors like my neurologist, my neurosurgeon, and now my gastrointestinal team. Let's go to Weill Cornell. They'll know what's going on. I kid you not. I was there for, I think, 5 or 6 days, and it ended with them saying, we've done every test. They just did a CT and an MRI. We've done every test. You have functional neurological disorder, which is a fancy way of saying it's all in your head. There's nothing we can do. Oh, and incidentally, we found you had a UTI, so we're going to give you 5 days of oral antibiotics, and that'll be it. Now, when they said the thing about the UTI, I asked them, I said, are you going to check my pee to make sure it's gone? I kid you not, they said, we don't do that. It usually just goes away. Spoiler alert, it didn't. It didn't go away. It got worse and it went to my kidneys. And it probably was already in my kidneys, but they just didn't think. They didn't think. I was fighting with doctors. At first, my surgeon was on my side and saying that everything I was experiencing was clearly neurological. And then when nothing surgical was wrong, he said that he had to leave it up to the team of neurologists because there's nothing surgical going on. And while I understand that, he just kind of rolled over and let them try and pin it all on psych. Meanwhile, as the title says, I was dying. Like, people don't seem to understand, and even doctors try and minimize UTIs. When they get to your kidneys, in some cases, it can only take 24 hours for something like that to kill you. Like, it is insane that nobody saw that I had this infection and thought, you know, I know it's rare and usually only happens in elderly patients, but sometimes UTIs can go to the kidneys and cause crazy neurological symptoms. Maybe that's what's going on. No, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. There's nothing wrong with you. They even tried to keep saying that I was making my legs shake. Again, they said, oh, is your leg doing that on its own? Or are you making it do that, when they would do the neurological exam and test my reflexes? And I said, it's just doing that. And then the neurologist, who was the head of my case, turned to the person working with him and said, she's doing it herself. I'm in the room! What do you mean? And turns out, I was right. There was something wrong. You know, I was trying my best. I was trying to throw out ideas about what could be wrong. I was like, maybe there's a CSF leak. Maybe I have autoimmune encephalitis because my mom's cousin works with people that have autoimmune encephalitis and get IVIG. And she said that, you know, everything that was crazily going on, maybe that could be what's going on. So I brought it up. And then they just like, no, your MRI was clear. And yes, I had a kidney infection. Have still. I'm getting midline antibiotics. I have a fancy dancy pole over here to get those 2 times a day, now that I'm home from the third hospital that I went to that diagnosed me properly. But even their rationale for why I didn't have these things is wrong. Because you can have a clean MRI and have autoimmune encephalitis and have a CSF leak. So even their explanation was incorrect, which is what they always do. But yeah, the top hospital in New York City missed the fact that I had a raging kidney infection. And then I ended up with a second kidney infection by the time I made it to the next hospital. And that video that I just showed you, that was taken on Christmas. That's how I spent my Christmas. I spent my Christmas doing that. Well, not the entirety of it, but a good amount. That was towards the end. Thankfully, it was after dinner, and I just did that. And it is so horrific being in that experience because I am completely aware of what's going on around me. I can hear everybody, and it's like something is snapped. Like something was cut, some connection, so I can't speak, I can't move, I can't emote, I can't do anything. It's like I've lost complete control of everything. I still have no idea why my body reacted that way. I still want to investigate autoimmune encephalitis because we have found a connection between me having raging infections and then ending up losing all of the progress I've made mobility-wise and having a neurological flare, which can be a marker of autoimmune encephalitis. But anyways, the point of the matter is, I had a kidney infection, which turned into dose kidney infections, and now I am on midline antibiotics until the 11th of January, so long as my blood work is good and my symptomology is getting better. The symptoms that I was experiencing, I thought I was going insane. I thought every single night when I was going to sleep that I was going to die. And the crazy thing is that I could have. If this had been if they had allowed this to keep going on, if I had listened to the doctors at Weill Cornell and stopped investigating what I was experiencing, and just let it be, I could have died. And I am so grateful to still be here. I am so thankful that I did not listen to them and that I have a history of doctors dismissing me, so I know that doctors can be wrong. Otherwise, I may not be here. I may not have been here. I'm so glad that I got Christmas at home, but the cost of that is that my infection got so much worse to the point that I got another one on top of it. And it all kind of started with I had to be catheterized because I stopped being able to urinate on my own, something we still haven't gotten clear answers. They think I have something called neurogenic bladder as a result of all of the nerve and brain damage that I have experienced as a result of my other conditions. So that's where the infection initiated, was with this catheter. A catheter makes it more likely that you're going to get UTIs, and it's kind of like a breeding ground for that. No matter how clean you go, you know, how much you're cleaning it. And I was cleaning it obsessively because I was so scared of this happening. And even with that, it still occurred. You know, all it takes is, you know, one practitioner, one doctor to necessarily put it in wrong or not properly sanitize, and it can breed an infection. And, you know, my catheter was changed so many times, so I have no idea where it could have originated. I don't know how long this kidney infection has been going on. All I know is that I am so thankful that I listened to my body, because things could have gotten so much worse. And I'm so thankful that so far no permanent damage has been seen in my kidneys. Thank God. But yeah, my Christmas was spent fighting 2 kidney infections and almost dying. And the day after Christmas, I was in the ER and I finally got my answer. You know, my blood counts were all over the place because my body was fighting so hard to fight this infection. And I just want to scream. You know, I see my neurologist in person She works at Weill Cornell, but she wasn't on the team that was assessing me while in the hospital. And, you know, I'm going to go over my experience with her and kind of ask if she can, I don't know, have some sort of conversation with the inpatient team, because I am now so terrified about that inpatient team and how many other cases like mine have they looked at and dismissed, and the patient listened and ended up dying or permanently disabled. I mean, as I've talked about in previous videos, I am permanently disabled as a result of doctors' negligence. And I just can't believe it happened again. But I'm so thankful that I listened to my body. I'm so thankful that my family knows that I know my body and listens to me when I hit my limit and say, hey, I gotta go to the hospital again. I'm sorry. Because I really didn't want to, but I just, you know, I took a shower, and when I got out of the shower, I looked at my fiance and I just said, you know, I'm done. We gotta go to the hospital again. And I'm glad we did. So take this as a lesson. If you have a UTI, it's not just no big deal. It can get really bad really quickly. Check on your symptoms. Make sure that you're getting treated, because it can go from bad to ugly to death very quickly. I had no idea. Again, I thought that it was only in geriatric patients or very, very young patients that something like this could occur, but it's not the case. All right, my air conditioning is telling me that it's time to end the video. So, stay safe out there. Go to the doctor if you need to. Love you guys, and I hope you had a better Christmas than I did. In all seriousness, it was a wonderful Christmas surrounded by people that I love. But could have been better. Could have been better. I'll update you guys on all the his apps of what's going on and when I'm doing all better. Yeah. Thanks so much. Bye.